I apologize for not getting last week's Tomodachi game episode out as soon as I could, right? I wasn't too fond of the quality of the video. Well, I shouldn't necessarily say the quality of the video, but the quality of the audio in the video. So I scrapped that entire video, but just know going into episode 10, I was already of the mindset that Yuichi knew everything. Kei being the leader and that Maria was from the administration camp, right? We've already came to this conclusion, at least I did last episode, but obviously I told you guys I couldn't get that episode out anyway. But yeah, and this episode made everything so clear, right? And I like the fact that they tried to make you believe that Kei won, because the episode title was "The Third Game is Already Over." And as I was saying, there's no way that Yuichi loses this game. He's way too quick-witted. Big difference, right? Big difference. And on top of that, he is evil. And by the way, they spoiled the next episode, I think, because why was the quote-unquote leader of Group K punching Yuichi, right? He was punching the shit out of Yuichi. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, why'd he do that? And then we see Kokorogi in her room, right? She's in a classroom and there's shit all over the place. I'm like, this isn't the outro. This isn't the outro. This ain't what we usually see. And then we see our boy Shibe getting arrested. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Bro, I was so confused. But anyway, episode 10 was an absolute fucking banger, right? Episode 10 was an absolute banger. Starting off with Yuichi being such a deviant, bro. Oh my God. He was literally sitting there hoping that one of them would switch sides. And obviously he wanted Hyakutaro to switch sides because Hyakutaro was the one that was most easily swayed out of the group. He was the most gullible one, right? He's straightforward. He's very earnest. And Yuichi knows that that is what he needed to take advantage of. And I mentioned this in my last video that I scrapped, but Yuichi's goal was to break their group, right? It was to break their group, but I don't necessarily think that's the case, right? I think there's more to Yuichi when it comes to that than meets the eye. We'll have to wait for next episode for anything that I say to come true in that regard. We'll talk about that later. We proceeded to get Hyakutaro to switch sides, and I'm like, cool, what's next? Because I don't think that was enough for us to get the dub. And then Yuichi goes on to essentially make it look like he is abusing Maria, and I'm like, oh my God. And the other dude on the team, the lady killer on that side of things, I was just like, he's not gonna let this fly. But he ended up letting it fly. He ended up being like, okay, you know, women will act a specific way to get what they want. And that's when Hyakutaro switches sides so that way he can keep an eye on Yuichi. And then he tried to clock Yuichi, and Yuichi wasn't having that shit. Yuichi's like, nah, look, man, I already know you was gonna try to hit me. And he put him in damn near a fucking half Nelson. It was tight. This is something that I wanted to talk about last episode too, but I didn't have the opportunity to talk about it. I was sure Yuichi figured it out because every time that Kei went off to go talk on the phone, I had in my brain that he wasn't really going to talk on the phone. He was over there coming up with the plans himself, because reiterating everything that the quote-unquote captain had to say word for word, I was like, there's no fucking way that he could do that. He was literally just giving, you know, his plan and controlling everybody from the shadows. I knew that shit from day one, and if you guys don't believe me, go check out the video of us meeting Kei the first time, right? This was like maybe 3 episodes ago. Like, the crazy part is that Yuichi thought his plan was going, you know, way too smoothly, right? Remind you guys that sure, Kei is a genius, right? He continues to say that he's a genius and that, you know, it's too easy for him. But here's the thing. I said it earlier and I'll reiterate it. Yuichi is quick-witted. And it was funny because the moment that Yuichi thought he had it all figured out, here comes Kei calling Yuichi and letting him know, like, nah, look, bro, we already got you, right? You already fell into the palm of my hands. And I don't know whether or not this was just Yuichi putting on the greatest act of all time, or the simple fact that he really felt like he lost. But when Kei got to explaining like what the fuck was going on, I was like, uh-oh. Kei told him, like, look, you letting Hyakutaro into your group was the downfall of you. and it went all according to plan. This is exactly what I wanted. This is just like a theory of mine. Like, I think he wanted Maria to see him like this so he could just be like, she's gonna betray me. And that literally ends up happening, that she ends up like betraying the squad. And that's when we get into, you know, Kay revealing that he was the true leader of the group the whole time. He was making Juzo. It was like a master servant relationship type shit, because if you look at Juzo and the way that he's on his knees and shit like that, it's like, bro, there's no way that, you know, this is a friendship or, you know, something like that if you're down on your knees like that, bro. You're making it look like, you know, he's all high and mighty and bullshit like that, but you see what happens a little later. And Blondie, the whole time, she was like, oh, look at my genius, look at Group K, yeah, yada, 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 we got this in the bag, we got this in the bag. And I'm just like, hey, yo, shut the fuck up, you fine, but there ain't no way that we losing this shit. And again, like I said, we get to this part where Yuichi is quote unquote freaking out, right? I don't really think he was freaking out, but he was freaking out. And I think he wanted Maria to see this and Hyakutaro to see this, and probably the other two members of Group K to see this, so that way they can like leave him alone and think that we won, and for Maria to switch sides. I think that was the play here, because I watched this episode 2 times, right? And I was trying to like pick up on small things, and one of the only small things I picked up on that I think we secured the W is something that happened at the end of the episode, and we'll talk about that a little later. And like I said, here comes Kay, right? Like out of the blue, surprising the fuck out of Maria as she was going off to, you know, do things. And, you know, he exposes that Maria is a part of the administrative side, and he's just like, you know what, why don't you come over here because you can have fun watching Yuichi squirm. And, you know, she was looking forward to that. At this moment, I was just like, is this what Yuichi wants? Is this what Yuichi wanted the whole time? Did he want Maria to switch sides? And funny enough, if you look back on the conversation that Tenji and Yuichi had a couple of episodes ago when they introduced her to the team, he was just like, you know, I don't trust her anyway, right? I'm not gonna trust her. So at that point, I'm like, all right, he already had her swear full obedience. Remember that. This happened last episode or the episode before that. He had her swear her full obedience to whatever Yuichi does. Maria ends up calling Yuichi and is like, yo, where's Tenji at? Blah, 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 blah. And there was no one around me. And I'm just like, he's right there, right? And then Yuichi saw, you know, Kay come over there and talk to his homies. And then I think at this moment, Yuichi already secured his W because they didn't say what Yuichi said. Right? It was blanked out. And usually that means that Yuichi already secured his W. And here she comes talking to Kay. And then, you know, Yuichi's whole, this had to be the charade of charades for this game, bro. There was a little sneak laugh that I saw from Maria, and I was just like, oh, fuck. Oh fuck, wait, what's going on? What's going on here? What's going on? And here go Tenji dumbass yelling after Kay called him, and we ended up finding, like, he ended up being found by Kay. And this is what I caught on my second watch, this whole sequence at the end. If Kay won the game, right? If Kay feels like he won the game, why is it that Manabu ended up calling him and not him calling Manabu and letting him know that we found the person hiding? My question is, and I don't want you guys to answer this if this is actually spoilers, what the fuck happened between the moment Kay left and the moment he found Tenji? Bro, because something had to happen. In order for that phone call to happen, where Manabu called and said that the game was over, something had to happen. And I don't understand what Kay is not seeing here. Did you not realize that you guys more than likely lost? What the fuck? I'm gonna sit on that, right? Like, I'm gonna sit on the idea of something happening between the moment Kay left and went and found Tenji. Because when we get there, right, everyone's already sitting there and they, you know, they talking, and Manabu's about to explain, like, you know, who fucking won, right? And he had this fucking sinister ass smile. And then it goes into some shit for the next episode, right? Because Yuichi got smoked by Juzo. And I was genuinely confused because I'm like, if that happened, the game has already been decided and we won, because you can't lay your hands on the other team without, like, you know, either losing the game or something like that, right? Like, you can't punch the opposing team, but you can punch your own teammates. So this indicated to me that we won already. This episode was really hard though, I have to say, right? Like, this episode was truly a fucking gem to watch because, like I said, either Yuichi put on one of the greatest acts of all time, pretending to feel like he lost, or Kay really almost got him. But that's neither here nor there. We'll leave that up to the next episode. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below. Again, I'm sorry that I couldn't get the last episode out, but we've already pretty much caught up, and I'll let you guys know all of that at the beginning of the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. If you're a fan of Tomodachi game, make sure you let me know in the comment section below as well. And with that being said, it's your boy DomoSenpai, and I will catch you guys in the next video.